there's a lot of legitimate questioning of Jayapal. In fact, I am of the mind that it was a mistake for Jayapal to hold that bipartisan infrastructure bill. But particularly now, at the time, it was, we'll see. It seemed the wrong thing to do, but maybe they had some different interest. Now, and again, and to be fair, I could be wrong, depending on what we end up getting ultimately. And
we also don't know what was going on behind the scenes. I mean, again, the thing that bothers me most is her basically saying publicly that she got promises from Gottheimer and the moderates or the centrists, which means nothing if Manchin's going to...
Exactly. And she had the leverage. But here's the bottom line is, that's a valid critique of progressives who are coming. And good for Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, right.
Because she went on and she had I don't know if I would call this a similar critique of the Build Back Better bill. Here it is, the progressive stalwart.
Right. It's got to be a critique from the left.
I said it was Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
She endorsed Bernie, guys.
Yeah, here she is. She is, and the thing I like about this is she's going on Fox to set them all straight about it.
Yeah.
Tell them things they don't readily hear.
Yes, you got to hit a wider audience and let them know why we need elder care, why we need parental and paid leave, why we need a Green New Deal, why we need expanded Medicare, not just for the numbers of people, but also in terms of the services. And what better place to go than Fox and deliver that message?
Yeah, the audience is older.
Play the clip.
Yep.
Here's the reality with the bill that they're continuing to push forward is that our government is too powerful and too big even as it is, and this bill is only going to make matters worse. The provisions in the bill are so vague that really it's going to be unelected bureaucrats who end up deciding how these provisions are implemented, and no accountability. And really it'll empower them to be able to stick their noses into every aspect of our lives, furthering this cradle-to-grave mentality of government dependence that makes us lose even more of our autonomy as we are paying for it. As government gets bigger, our wallets are getting smaller.
Oh my God. The winds really changed directions, didn't they?
Cradle to grave. Where have I heard that before? Oh, I know. Every right-winger in this country has been saying that.
It's like Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, wait a second. Where's that part about as the government gets stronger, the people get... Where have I heard that before? Every single right-winger. I mean, you know what I find sort of fascinating about this is like, why so slow? Like, this is not a she's not like some type of, what do you call it? One of those like huge military, like with the jets fly off. It was an
aircraft carrier?
Yeah, she's not an aircraft carrier. She doesn't need 24 hours to take a left turn coming out of the harbor. Why is she just like slow walking this? Who do you think she's fooling?
You mean her heel turn?
Yes.
I mean, she took a nice leisurely heel turn where she got to go obfuscate who the real leftist primary challenger was.
I guess that's true.
Right before endorsing Joe Biden. And I don't know what Joe's doing that's really upsetting her, frankly.
Right. I mean, in fact, his platform was more ambitious than this.
It turns out that she was just, there when she resigned from the DNC, and she was primarily critiquing Democrats, and she slayed Kamala Harris on the debate stage. It turns out the thing that drew a lot of people to her was just the critique of Democrats and not anything substantive, because now she's just making the right-wing argument about Democrats, and all of like her aloha stands are like, yes,
but it's not even
queen.
Let's be clear. It's not even that she's critiquing Democrats. She is critiquing never mind the 1.75 bill or whatever it is. I mean, if this was a $3.5 trillion bill, I presume her critique would be even double what it is now. If that is not what you want as a progressive, and I understand if you're a socialist, a lot of this is just sort of like filling potholes, and you want a socialist revolution, and you want the change in who owns, there's a lot of that I can sign on for, but I also, as someone who is not a socialist, I can appreciate some incrementalism and stuff that has a real big material impact. But for you to critique in the way that she's critiquing, there is only one word for you. And you could be the dumbest person on earth who has a platform and know that. In fact, my evidence is, here's Sean Hannity.
You don't sound like a Democrat to me. I hereby, you can raise your right hand, you're definitely a conservative. So, anyway,
Always a
Congresswoman,
pleasure, Sean.
we always
Always a pleasure.
I
Sean.
wonder
She
if
is scary.
I wonder if she's like, God, that was like 3 weeks too soon. I mean, I've got.
Sean!
I'm going to have to recalibrate. Wait, let me go tweet something that might sound like I'm not quite a conservative yet.
Oh, Sean, you did this too early. God, I'm smiling to hide my rage. I wanted to elongate the heel turn, but now you've exposed me for too much.
You look at the mileage that folks got out of I endorsed Bernie in 2016. Like Tulsi, also Brett Weinstein. That's his only, as far as I know, sort of.
Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, Joe Rogan
was
in the
2020.
primary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, whatever. Like, and Tulsi, a person who, like, people are like, what happened? She endorsed Bernie. It's like, before that, she's trolling Obama for not using the term radical Islamic terror. Like, she's always been a reactionary plant. She just did a brief thing where she endorsed Bernie, and I don't know what program she thought Bernie was going to institute.
Bernie's the one who negotiated this deal. Bernie perceived the $3.5 trillion deal, frankly, to be the capstone of his career. And I mean, so she's so full of crap, and the people who have like made excuses for her and said, well, it's a good thing that she's not for, that she's for this sort of like Medicare for all light because it's much better. I mean, give me a break.
She wasn't even for Medicare.
I
for
know.
all.
She said it was anti-American.
Her first term in Congress, but even before that, she wasn't a co-sponsor. Even before she ran, but then she signed on later when she knew she was going to
I
run.
would also say the folks, I would particularly think people that were draping themselves as anti-imperialist, like that's why Dore, for instance, endorsed Tulsi over Bernie. You're giving anti-imperialism a really, really bad name with this.
It's not anti-imperialism if we use a drone strike and it's Muslims that we're hitting.
It's Muslims.
It's not also.
And I'm in the special forces deployed in the Horn of Africa now.
Yeah, exactly.
Look up her.
Where have I been? On secret mission.
Yeah, maybe
Doing
doing
a boogie board onto Somalia.
waterboarding, which she doesn't necessarily consider to be an illegitimate torture technique. That's very anti-imperialist. She's all for peace. Aloha.